Alright, testing. Oh, where's my gaycation? Oh, gaycation. Buy your gaycation today. Tickets to gaycation included. That'd be great. Well, good evening. Laddies, lasses, and lasses, and welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else lie to you and tell you otherwise. Now you might ask, click, my god, what happened to your face? Well, I was wrestling a bear, and he smooched a little bit too hard. Anyway, gaycations, am I right? Link in description. Speaking of men. Man, we love men, don't we? We have looked at a lot of not how girls work on this channel, and together I think we have scientifically figured out exactly how girls don't work. But what about the lads, huh? How don't the men work? Let's look at how the men don't work, because then by the process of elimination we can figure out exactly how men work. So welcome to r/not how guys work. Enjoy. Mwah.
If a fat woman wants to do the naughties with you, have naughties with her. Listen up, men. If a fat woman approaches you and wants to have naughties with you, you have naughties with her.
But what if I'm like married or what? No? Okay, that's out the window.
No ifs and or buts about it.
What if I'm a minor?
First of all, you should be fucking honored as to have the opportunity to have sex with a big, beautiful goddess. More importantly, you have to oblige, as she says, because if you say no, you're actively oppressing her with your bullshit, ridiculous standards of beauty.
But what if you're just married, though? What is that a valid reason? Consent is dependent on body types. Anyway, let's keep reading, shall we?
What you think is beautiful doesn't matter, because she can be as fat as she wants. It's her body, not yours. By oppressing her with your fat-phobic bullshit, though, you are likely going to be triggering her, and are thus violating her and her identity by violating her so viciously like that. You are, in fact, committing R-wording.
Holy shit. Please be bait. There can't be a single person in the world insane enough to have this kind of opinion. Oh my fucking god. Hey there, fellow dudes. Unless you acknowledge that your consent doesn't matter, you are the one committing the R-wording somehow. That's... wow. Okay, I feel this one deserves a bit of a side tangent, isn't it, right? You are allowed to be with or not be with whoever you want to be on the condition that they are also into it. That is how adult relationships work. And there is also a vast difference between, for example, having a preference, whatever that might be. It can be personality, it can be physical, it can be whatever it might be. Sometimes chemistry simply isn't there. But there is also a vast difference between having a preference yourself in dating or your love life versus treating people poorly simply because they don't fall into your preference. We see this a lot, for example, with unhinged dating profiles that go viral when it's always something like, oh my god, those darn single moms, am I right? And it's like, well, if you're not interested in kids, just don't date someone with kids. It's pretty easy. You get what I mean? There's a vast difference between just unwarranted hatred for someone that simply doesn't fall into your dating preference versus like not dating someone because they don't fall into your dating preference. You get what I mean? I also love the irony that this post is hashtagged R-word culture when like the entirety of the post is just telling people that their consent doesn't matter. Holy irony, Batman.
I went to our local shelter and adopted a kitten for my son as a surprise. Watch his reaction.
Look at that. That is so wholesome. Oh my god, he's like so happy. He's crying. This is like wholesome family vibes, man.
That kid desperately needs a male parent. Imagine being a guy and crying because you got a kitten. It's hilarious.
Bruh, what?
Bruh, what? When I was younger than this kid, I used to tie bags to random cats, then threw them off the roof to watch them fly, not cry at the sight of one.
You see, I was a little soon-to-be serial killer. That's how you know you're a real man at the age of 7. This 7-year-old kid isn't a real man because he was happy about getting a pet. Oh, yes, indeed. Hurting little defenseless animals like a sadistic sociopath. Oh, yes, indeed. The peak male vibes.
Men who carry water bottles out in public give me the ick. Oh, the ick, fellow girls. Especially at the airport. You can't go a few hours without having your little sips of water. You like to be hydrated? What are you, f***ing gay? Carrying around anything is a feminine trait. The only things men should be carrying around are his wallet and a pocket knife.
Yes, indeed. Walking around at the airport with a pocket knife is peak masculinity. Getting fucking tackled to the ground by airport security and then being interrogated while you as a dumbass carried a knife into an airport. Peak masculinity. Hey fellas, is it gay to hydrate? Let me know in the comments. I guess it's depends on what you use to hydrate. That's a bit of a curse twist. I like that. Still got it.
Men. A woman looks for a father in a man. You are her father. She calls you daddy. She is your daughter. She calls you daddy. Don't allow her to call you baby. A man leaves his father to become a father, but a woman never leaves a father. She switches from her biological father to an intimate father.
Holy daddy issues, Batman.
That's why during a wedding, she's clutching to her biological father down the aisle to be received by her husband. Parentheses. Intimate father. If you grew up fatherless, you must first become a man.
Is this applicable for everyone? Oh my god, it's the trans gay agenda.
Then learn what it means to be a father, and then start considering how to father a woman.
The implications of this are absolutely insane. Is this person also gonna say that,
oh, as a 40-year-old, you should date 18-year-olds because they see you as a father and you...
I can see how this is gonna, divulge into some really creepy territory, isn't it?
If you're not ready to be your intimate father,
why do you say it like that? Why do you say intimate father? If you wanna do kinky shit with your adult podger, go ahead, I'm not gonna stop you, but why do you make a public post calling people intimate father? Holy Batman.
Your relationship will be chaotic. Be a father. Hashtag Masculinity Saturday.
I don't know, man. I find having, an adult partner pretty sexy, Being able to be adults together is pretty sexy. What? I would love to see if I can find a version of this text somewhere online, but in reverse, where there's some dude who just never learned to do laundry, and now he's making these big, wild, conspiracy gendered posts about,
a woman should always be a mother, and also to his boyfriend because I can't do laundry,
Are both opinions out there? I would love to put them side by side, man.
There is a trend, and I think I've only seen it in the last 5 or 6 years, of grown men crying when they see their bride walking down the aisle. I have to say, it is extremely gay. You see, real men only cry from their penis. Gay men cry from their eyes, especially when they're getting married to their wife. That's the most gay thing you can do. Men shouldn't cry at such things. It should be reserved for extreme moments of pain, e.g. death.
Hey, fellow men, you know how we talk about how we should be more open with feelings and stuff and be there for your bros? But also, you're not allowed to cry until you die. So there you go, there's that. As a male, trademark, I usually say that everyone, regardless of gender or who you are or whatever, deserves to have people around you that you can feel vulnerable with, that you can share your weak moments with, or feel that you are supported by, no matter what. That doesn't mean you should be vulnerable in front of everyone, because some people in the world will try to take advantage of that, and it's good not to be naive about it. But definitely share things that you're struggling with, or bounce it with a friend or a trusted partner or a family member, or go get professional help if that is what you feel that you need. This is incredibly important that we all as humans need. And also, it doesn't make anyone less of a man. You can be everything you aspire to be as a man, but still receive help for the things you feel you need help with. r/female antinatalism. What on earth is this? I strongly believe women shouldn't birth male children. Hello, I am new here. 26F married to a 29F. We won't be having any children. Well, with a title like that, I sure hope you're not. I have made a new account, as my other one is linked to my job. Anyway, I am wholeheartedly pro-choice. That's based. But I simply despise men. Not so based. Even if you raise your son with good values, they will be a misogynist. Man, I really hope they stick to their promise of not having kids. Can you imagine having a kid and you start villainizing them like, oh, this little 3-year-old boy is the source of all the evil in the world? What? Sure, there are varying degrees of misogyny, and some may be on the less extreme end, but all men still contribute to R-word culture one way or another. Obviously, while they're babies, they are not dangerous. Babies are babies and don't have a concept of gender, patriarchy, or misogyny, but they will inevitably grow up to be men. Also, boy mothers give me the ick. Internalized misogyny is prevalent as it is, but it seems to ramp up in women with sons. They will absolutely harm women if it means defending their shitty sons, because
my baby boy can do nothing wrong. I mean, yeah, they're absolutely poopy parents that defend their poopy kids when they have done something poopy. I'm not sure if it's so gender specific though. Like, I have both seen boy moms that become really weirdly misogynistic or defend their sons doing really bad stuff. I've also seen fathers that get like weirdly violent and attacky when it comes to like overprotecting their daughters. So I think this is just a case of poopy parents, you know? I don't think this should be a reason to like, I don't know, demonize babies. I noticed someone posted the TikTok trend of boy mothers teaching their son things so they are not impressed with your dusty daughters.
Oh yeah, I actually reacted to that in another video. Those trends are hilariously bad.
Absolutely revolting considering these boys will end up harming those daughters. How can you be so sure? Just because the mom is making cringe TikToks and having like bad values doesn't mean the kid is gonna be automatically evil. That seems like preemptively demonizing a child for no reason. Like, most people that grow up with crappy parents don't turn out to be crappy people themselves. Like, this is really bad. This post is bordering on that kind of logic where it's always saying like, oh, victims of abuse are always gonna be abusers or whatever. I hate the vibe of this post. It's rancid. I did check the rules of this community first, so I apologize I've broken any rules with this post. At least it's being ratioed. 48 upvotes, 166 comments. Yeah, this got ratioed hard, which is good.
Oh god, no, the comments are just as bad, man. Fuck.
Vasectomy at 12 years of age.
Quirky mom things!
Once they have shown that they are responsible enough to have a family and support kids and a wife and be a good husband and good man, they can reverse the vasectomy.
Okay, am I the only one who's getting like some super duper abusive parents vibes from this? But they're using like bigger societal issues to justify abusing and like mutilating their own kids? That is absolutely insane, man. Oh my god.
And then they can have as many kids as they can afford, or as few kids as they can afford.
Or, you know, as a normal functioning adult, you can sit your kid down when they're like approaching that age and be like, what up there, sonny? Let's talk about the bees and the flowers and condoms and You know, like a normal fucking person.
And make the birth control be on the man and all about how he is and how he acts and how he presents himself as a man.
At least how I have always lived my life, which I honestly think is the best way of living, is that you can argue about birth control and stuff on like a societal level and the societal implications or social implications that come with it. But on a personal level, just be responsible for your own birth control. Like, why would you trust someone else that you've just started dating or just hooking up with to be like perfectly tested for everything, or that they are actually taking their preventative measures or whatever? Like, isn't it always just better and more safe and more empowering too that you are responsible for your own birth control, like both ways? So you know, you just know. Isn't that what we should encourage? Everyone be responsible, please. Then of course you can have a larger discussion too, but I kind of hate shit like this. I don't like it because it doesn't actually encourage good individual choices.
Strong agree. I have a transgender son, and the thing I take solace in is he knows what it's like to be a woman. Well, no shit. A woman knows what it's like to be a woman.
Fully support her never having male children. She would be an abusive POS mother. Any children. The transphobia at the end is just mwah.
Oh, you mean you don't want your anti-trans rhetoric with your misandry? How dare! Why only have one when you can have both? It's just like, why only have one chili fruit stuck in your nose when you can have two? You have two nose holes, twice the suffering. Woo!
If he does the male splooshies, it's because his body is full of toxins and he has had too many naughty partners. Men are not supposed to have splooshies, it's unclean. Vegan men with few naughty partners sploosh fresh water. Find a virgin man and leave these McDonald's eating thoughts alone. Stay woke.
Okay, I think this one is satire. I'm pretty sure this one is satire. It reads like one of those posts that like have these wild takes about like, oh, women who are supposed to be pure and you know that kind of stuff. Like, oh my god, real women don't poop because you only poop after you're not a virgin. You know, that kind of shit. But it's just made about men instead. I think this one is satire.
If your man touches these, you have failed as a wife.
I can't tell if this meme is made by a man or a woman. Does that make it better or worse? I'll read it as a man as well. If your man touches these, you have failed as a wife. Honestly, they both kind of work. I think probably those opinions are out there like one way or another, man. That's kind of impressive when you have a garbage meme like this and you don't know if a dude or a dudette made it. Half a gold star, I guess, for making a meme so that you don't even know which gender it originated from.
True equality. Sparkles.
Men height chart 5'2", 5'5", a child. 5'5" to 5'7", a young boy. 5'7" to 5'11", young man. 6 and up, a king.
As a non-American, is like the whole height obsession like a very American thing? Because I don't think I see it that much around here. You know? Is this a very Americanized thing? Let me know in the comments, like, if you have experienced this where you live. Because I feel like all the stuff I see posted about this originates from the US, whether it's like toxic dating profiles or garbage like this, you know? So much truth, it hurts. A lot of men interpret politeness from women as flirting, because they themselves would never show even the barest of courtesy to a woman they found unfrickable. I mean, people of all genders are typically nicer to people they find attractive. That's kind of like the halo effect and pretty privileged. That isn't really gender specific either. I mean, I half agree with this one, but I don't agree with that it's only because like everyone is so mean to people they don't literally want to sleep with. I think it's also because just compliments like that aren't super common for dudes, and also depends heavily on the context. Like, I had an older lady, she was probably like 60 or 70, come up to me in the gym and be like, "Oh, you got such strong legs, you maxed out that machine." I don't see that as flirting. I would be very surprised if she was flirting with me. I think she was just surprised, because usually she doesn't see people max out the machine. Humble flex, am I right? But if like a 25 or 30-year-old girl comes up to me like, "Oh my god, your biceps are so big, that's such a nice set," I'd be like, yeah, that sounds kind of flirtatious, you know? But I think also people are kind of bad at reading into that in general. You know, hints are very often misunderstood, and etc, etc. Then, of course, there are definitely people out there that only act nice as long as there is, like, a potential for getting laid. I mean, we've all seen the posts coming out of r/nice guys, right? It's no secret that people act like this too. I just don't believe it's that black and white. You know, there are many people in the world and many people act differently for many reasons or whatever it might be. It's just important not to paint everything with a broad brushstroke. Multiple things can be true at the same time. I think another important thing I want to talk about with this kind of stuff, which is a bit of a side tangent, but it's more a commentary on like gender war stuff, which I usually see online a lot and definitely not as much IRL. But it is that I think people are oftentimes a bit too eager and they get lost in the sauce of their own subjectivity. Like, what I mean, for example, is that if someone asks me, like, "Oh, what is the stereotypical person that I've been, for example, obsessive or stalky or harassy or touchy?" I'm gonna say like, "Oh yeah, it's 90% women," which makes perfect sense because it's a sample bias, right? And if I ask my girlfriend or my lady friends, like, "Oh, what's the typical person that is harassy or weird?" They say, "Oh yeah, it's straight dudes," you know? And that's kind of the sample bias that comes along with it. Of course, you can talk about like what is worse, for example, what the implications are due to like societal, social factors, due to physical factors, whatever it might be. Those are perfectly valid discussions to have. But it's also important to acknowledge that one thing doesn't mean that the other thing doesn't happen. Both experiences can be true. And it shouldn't be a gender war, it should be us, the sane people, versus the weirdos that go around and touch people's privates without asking, you know? And I think that's the healthy way of seeing it. Like, if there is a weirdo going around touching people, you throw them out, whether it's a dude or dudette or whatever doing it, you know? And I think that's what I would like people to come together and do more. You know, we can be there for each other while also acknowledging experiences are going to be different, but they don't cancel out. Best way to black pill my brother. Oh dear God. My brother is 2 inches taller than me at 5'4". He managed to money max in order to become a beta bucks. He and his wife, 5 feet, are trying to get preggo. This is a very bad idea. I didn't tell him yet, but I need to find a way to blackpill him so he knows the truth and doesn't create another subhuman manlet. But he managed to get laid though. He even managed to get married. What do you mean? You don't think his kid, which might be the same height as him, can't like find love too? He's living proof that you're wrong. Of course, the baby could turn out to be a woman and that would be okay. But in the chance that the baby turns out to be a boy, it will be over before it even began. My brother is very blue-pilled and happy-go-lucky type and pretty confident. But he shouldn't be, since he is short. So your brother is actually a success story. It's like, oh, despite being a bit short or whatever, he still landed a good job, landed a wife, they're starting a family together, etc, etc. But he shouldn't be happy because he's short, despite that not seeming to have a large impact on his confidence nor life. What do you... Do you just want your brother to fail? How do I get him to know the truth so he doesn't breed with a shorter woman and potentially spawn a manlet? I remember reading a post with a very similar line of logic a while ago. It was someone who was super upset that his short parents gave birth to him. It's like, oh, my short parents, how dare they give birth to me? A manlet, doomed to be alone. But it's like your parents were short too. And they are proof that they could smash their privates together enough to make you. You are living proof that you can find love despite being short or whatever. Like, bruh. I feel like when topics like this come up, people also like to quote like Tinder statistics or whatever, but Tinder is a very weird sample because number one, it's an absolute sausage fest, and number two, I get the feeling that factors that play into like conventional attractiveness or dating or whatever gets put on absolute crack when it's on dating apps for some reason. Like if you look at correlations between like tallness and how much attention you get IRL, there is a correlator, but it's not like a black and white thing. But on dating apps, it seems to be put on absolute crack. It's like a multiplier. I don't know why that is. Dating apps are weird, man, but I would highly recommend not being on dating apps. They especially Tinder and stuff. It's just bots and like spam swiping. And I don't know, it's just garbage.
Me, if it was illegal to make fun of short men, oh no, I'm getting arrested.
Man, I was just talking about like positivity about shortness and how silly it is to have these strong opinions about that and trying to black pill your brother. And now we get shit like this from TikTok. Oh, great, man. Great. It's just back to back, isn't it?
Toxic short men pay money to be on dating apps, and I go on there to humiliate and traumatize them. Sir, we are not the same.
So let me get this straight. Instead of being on a dating app to find love, or even just trying to get laid, or whatever the goal is, you go there just to treat people like shit. Is that what gets you off? Have you considered that maybe you are the common denominator of your dating life? You know, I'm just gonna go out on a limb.
I really almost let a 5'3" man ruin my life.
Uh-huh.
Every day I thank God I'm over 6 feet. The way some of you girls treat short dudes is low-key dehumanizing.
Fact-checking guys we invite over from Hinge that say they're 6 foot.
I'm also gonna be a fact-checking little nitpicker and say that shoes make one hell of a difference, so putting this in the doorway is stupid. But, yeah, no, all these TikToks are wildly toxic. Can you imagine doing this for like any other part of people's bodies and stuff? People would lose their shit. This is like weirdly normalized on American social media. I don't get it.
Don't fall in love with me.
He's 5'8"? Me when he has brown hair and is tall with a disgusting personality.
Girl, have some self-respect, for f***'s sake. Post-nut clarity is not gender-specific, okay? Look who's talking.
Short man detected.
I am 6'3".
Then act like it.
How is this getting racial? What toxic swamp of TikTok is this?
I mean, it's TikTok, so I'm actually not that surprised.
She says,
No, stop.
one time and you pull your pants back up, you're an F-slur.
I just pictured something completely different, I think, when I first read this initially. I was picturing, like, you know, you're on a hiking trail or something, and you really need to take a dump. And she's like, What are you doing? Stop that! And he's like, I'm not gonna pull my pants up. I'm not an F-slur. I'm gonna right here. In the middle of this hiking trail. So consent is gay now, I guess. Man, we have a lot of hot takes about consent today, don't we? Isn't that just great?
Why do women want to be shirtless so bad?
Because there is a double standard, where men can have their shirts off and women can't, despite them both having exact same chest nips.
Ours are flat, yours are round. Ours don't have milk. We have it somewhere else. Oh God, I'm so funny. And yours do.
Men can lactate, if you really try. Most of the time, women aren't lactating. Why don't you want more boobs in the world? Is it gay for a man to tell another man good morning? Yeah, you know, fellow dudes, I just brought this dude home with me last night and we did the dude stuff on my dude bed. And now in the morning he told me good morning? I think he might be gay. Is he gay? I am a 23-year-old male. My dad and I were out at a laundromat, and as we were leaving, another man walks in. I make eye contact with him and I say, good morning. He replies, y'all fellas all right? When we walked out, my father tells me, don't ever say good morning to a man around your age. Guys will think you're a little sweet. You understand me? Next time say, what's up? Or what's going on? To a woman, it's fine. It's fine to be gay to a woman, but not a man. When you're out in the streets, don't say that. I don't understand this at all. When is it ever gay or wrong for a man to say good morning to another man? I say good morning to everyone, male and female, at work all of the time and have no issues. I don't think I did anything wrong. I think my dad is being absurd. Sounds like your dad is one of those weird, like, overcompensating people. R/female dating strategy. Ooh, that's a bit of a cesspool, isn't it?
100%. Focus on your goals and financial prosperity, ladies. Most men are incapable of love, and it's just about naughties.
It's so funny. I see this exact take come out from both, like, femcels and, like, red pill dudes, where it's like, oh, other genders. They can't feel love for real. They're just in it for X, Y, Z, and they're all saying this. It's insane. It's insane. It's like holding up a mirror.
They are supposed to be the provider, protector, and pursuer. If not, move forward and level up. You deserve a king.
So you only offer adult fun time, and they only offer money. You're looking for a glucose guardian, okay? That's what you're looking for. That doesn't mean that's like the norm when it comes to relationships, but that's what you're looking for. Why are you trying to pretend that this is the norm and people can't feel love? Being in a relationship as a man is inherently low T.
Is this another one of those being with women is gay?
If you care at all about how the woman feels, you are constantly being more careful of your words, being more empathetic and adjusting to their delicate sensibilities. I don't know, man. I've certainly met women as well who are definitely little edgelords. Being around a woman 24/7 puts men in estrogenic conditions. It isn't normal. This is why it's best for men to see their guy friends as much as they can, or they inevitably turn into women over time. A shell of the former self his woman fell in love with. I think the reason weird hot takes like this get so much traction is because they pull people in by having like a small piece of truth hidden in there somewhere. For example, what they say like, oh, don't be around your partner 24/7. That's pretty normal and healthy. You should have a life that's wider than just your partner. You know, family, friends, your own hobbies, etc. Being your own person, even if you're in a relationship, is healthy. It is a healthy and good and stable thing to do. And it also promotes avoiding like hyper-dependency, that kind of stuff. This is healthy relationship stuff. But also being this like, oh, estrogenic conditions. You're gonna turn into a beta cuck and lose all your testosterone if you're around your girl too much. You see what I mean? Like you take this like sane, normal advice from relationships, and then it turns into this like red pill conspiracy about maximizing your T because you can't be exposed to females too much. So what do? For Gym Bros. Next post. R-wording in men is a good thing, according to Twitter.
Men cannot be R-worded because they have privilege. Sparkle!
Ooh, is this like the worst take of the day? That's kind of impressive considering all the shit that is in this video. Ah yes, I guess all those people who grew up in like horrible households don't count because of privilege. Ooh, they are so privileged. I think people like this are legitimately so horrible because the only thing that they do is that they pit victims against each other. Like, that's the only thing they do. Like, you can acknowledge societal trends, for example, or statistics that lean one way or another without, like, erasing an entire group of victims. Like, you're not a good person because you do this with the victims and be like, oh,
they have it worse because of this and that.
What? What are you doing? You're insane.
I love you, Hayden, my blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy.
I'm gonna be a lady killer, Grandma.
Oh, I know it. That's your problem. No, I'll get him circumcised so he can't get girls pregnant, lol. Honey, that won't help.
Remind you of anything? Getting him circumcised won't stop him from getting a girl preggo. All they're doing is removing his foreskin, not taking off his penis. There is nothing quite like Facebook when it comes to, I don't know, insane parents just self-exposing themselves. Jesus Christ.
I miss going on a date with a man and watching the light in his eyes disappear when he realizes that I am funnier than him.
Why are people like this in dating, man? Are people actually dating to have fun anymore? Or are they dating? I don't know. Who dates out of spite?
If you're making that the highlight of your date, it's not dating, it's bullying or getting payback. Men will literally choose a shy, feminine woman with zero achievements over an arrogant career woman. We don't care if you have won a Nobel Prize.
I think most men care if their partner is literally going for a Nobel Prize. Who are you speaking for? 14-year-old Tate fanboys on Twitter? Pass. My actual argument, if you allow a man to pay for your dinner, you have just entered a non-explicit, non-verbal contract to repay that dinner with naughties.
Ooh, I'm gonna do this next time I have the bros over for cheese night. Alright, fellas, I bought all the cheese for tonight. You know what that means? What the frick? Of course men and women could just be friends forever.
At some point, man will fall in love with a female friend.
But that's how males operate. I don't know, man. I have plenty of people around me of all kind of genders and stuff, and the vast majority of which I am in fact not in love with.
R/relationship advice. I distanced myself from my boyfriend because he cried in front of me.
You see what I mean? This kind of thing that everyone deserves to be vulnerable, you know, especially with like their partner or close family or whatever. You should leave him so he can find someone better.
I have been dating my boyfriend for 8 months now. I am the type of woman who looks into dating a tall, muscular, and white or tan guy who treats me nicely, gives me the attention I need, and makes me feel safe around him. My boyfriend fits all these traits, or at least I thought so. He dares have emotions. When his mom died, oh my god, I didn't sign up for this. Almost a month ago, my boyfriend cried in front of me for the first time. The reason for this was because his mother had to go to the hospital urgently as she was feeling very sick. She's fine now, don't worry.
Okay, so she didn't actually die, so then it doesn't count. You know, as a previous post mentioned, men are only allowed to cry when there's literal death. Okay, so because there wasn't literal death, it's invalid.
I am not saying it's not normal to cry when something bad happens to your loved ones, but seeing him break down and cry ruined the image I have of him, and I'll confess that this made me distance myself from him.
Yeah, you should leave him for his sake, dear God.
My boyfriend realizes that I'm acting cold with him, and has asked me numerous times if he did anything wrong.
He cried, I guess, when his mom was sick. That's what he did wrong according to you.
I still didn't confess to him, and I really don't want this relationship to end, but if this feeling persists, I might have to open up to him and end things. I honestly don't know what to do.
I think that if you lose attraction to your partner when they are vulnerable like this with you, you shouldn't be in a relationship in the first place, and you should do them a favor by leaving. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Being horny is a feminine trait. Why are you, as a man, thinking of boobs? You should be thinking about war. Oh, yes. Get those tits out of here. It's time for fucking war, man. It's war.
I never tip male waiters. Hit the oil rig, bro.
Men are reportedly trimming their eyelashes in order to look less feminine. We have lost the plot. We have absolutely lost the plot. I swear to God, this is why aliens aren't visiting us, because they see this shit being sent up into space via radio waves, and they're like, man, we should probably give them a few millennia to mature a bit, shouldn't we?
Men, if the DNA confirms the baby is not yours, it doesn't change the fact that you must take responsibility of the baby. Women go through a lot in marriages, and women deserve better.
No, I think you should probably leave a cheating partner, but just don't treat the kid like garbage because of it. It's not the kid's fault they have unhinged parents. I think that's an important distinction to make, but this take certainly ain't it.
Men are aggressive, women are calm.
Women are emotional, men are calm. People who think men and women are so different.
Bisexual in males is just an overactive sex drive. All men would be bi if you pumped enough testosterone in them. All bodybuilders are bi. Okay, I see. True. You can see that by observing how masculine and full of testosterone bisexual men are.
Andrew Tate!
So wait, let me see if I get this right. Like, bisexualness isn't real because it's just a high sex drive due to like being on massive amounts of gear. Is that? I swear to God, you know the whole hypotheses with like, you know, monkeys in the warehouse typing out the works of Shakespeare or whatever, you know, that little statistical quirky thing. I feel like so many of these takes must come from a similar place. It's like, oh yeah, let's have a bunch of monkeys smash keyboards, and then we just check which takes that they happen to randomly smash together come out there, and we post them to Twitter. That has to be the source of some of this shit, right? It's absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, speaking of which, powerful men are never in the bad mode. We're always basically the same level of stressed and preoccupied by empire. You see, and we also think about war instead of boobs. What was the button? Men are aggressive, women are calm. No, women are emotional, men are calm because we're thinking about war instead of boobs. We bring the money, a lot of it. Women bring the vibe. Princess energy. They make anything fun. If the feeling is off, it's the woman's fault. Always.
I don't know, man. I have met plenty of people, regardless of gender, who bring rancid vibes, alright? Rancid people.
People who try to make, like, rancid vibes, a black and white, specifically gendered issue, are usually the rancid people themselves. Why wouldn't you want to a girl's parts? That's, like, number one thing I wanna do.
It's submissive. Just say you're gay and move on.
Yeah, you see? You wanna be with a girl and please your girl? What, are you gay?
The sun looks so good on Madison Beer. Women are so beautiful. I understand why some women are lesbian, but I will never understand why some men are gay.
You could have just left it at the first part. Oh my god.
As a dude who lost 50 pounds just to be more attractive, it's awesome being objectified. Sunglass emoji. People really need to learn what objectification means. Objectification is not receiving friendly compliments and getting more attention from potential suitors. Objectification is when you're treated like a soulless vessel. Your body is the only thing considered worthy of value over your personhood. The guys that defend objectification suddenly understand how physiologically damaging and physically dangerous this becomes when they're being drafted as disposable meat in times of war, or when they complain about their height and muscle tone translating to their self-image and worth in society. I think there is also a vast difference between objectification and people just appreciating a glow-up, you know? I had this conversation a while ago with a friend of mine who's a doctor, and she was talking about, like, a creepy patient she had. You know, when there's some dude in, like, his 50s, like, "Oh, hello there, little thing, are you gonna check my balls as well?" You know, that kind of vibe. And after a while, she turned to me and said, like, "Oh, but you work as, like, a YouTuber or whatever. You probably get way more weird people coming on to you than I do." And I was like, well, sure, like, in quantity, maybe, but it's not the same kind of vibe. Like, first off, I don't have to deal with it face to face most of the time. It's like behind the screen, and it's not as invasive. Secondly, the way it comes onto you is different. And I think part of that is a very gendered thing, because I've also seen, like, the kind of DMs some of my feminine friends online get, and they are vastly different from mine. Like, on occasion, I get a very, like, demeaning, weirdly sexual DM, but it also doesn't strike the same way, you know? When I see, like, the kind of DMs my feminine friends get, it's like, "Oh yeah, you little thing, I would like to do this and that and demeaning and blah blah blah." It's like, damn, that's pretty nasty. Whereas if I get a DM, it can still cross the line, but it's more like appreciative or whatever. Respectful maybe isn't the right word, but something like that. It's a completely different vibe. It's not aggressive and demeaning in the same way. Just to be clear, it's not a justification for one thing or the other, but there definitely is different dynamics depending on, for example, physical threat levels, or the tone of it, or is it demeaning, or is it simply crossing a line but it's well-intended, or you know what I mean, right? It is quite different depending on a bunch of different factors. And that's not saying that men can't be victimized by this kind of stuff either. Of course, this was just an example that came to mind. Fitting into society. 16 and 15. Why is the 15-year-old depicted like this? I doubt the character is 15, but that's a wild way to present this. Being happy. 16 and 42. I don't...
Why are they both so bad? Can we please just be fucking normal? Dear God.
If he is not misogynistic, he's probably gay.
The undertones of this tweet are wild. There are so few words, but there's so much to unpack. Is this satire? I can't even tell if it's satire. Also, you can definitely have bad opinions about other things regardless of your own sexual orientation. Like, these don't cancel out either, man. Twitter. What a gold mine. Ooh, or is the takeaway like it's gay not to be mean to women? Is that... I don't know what the takeaway from this is, man. Or is it that all straight men are bad? It can mean so many different things. What a fascinating tweet. It's so much to unpack for so little text. I am impressed. But like in a bad way. Ah, well, laddies, lasses, and lasses, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed having you here. Make sure to get the Gaycation emotional support team, and the link is down in the description. Get it now before it's gone forever, and enjoy your Gaycation permanently. And I will see you again in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.